This is Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. Our guest today is Nassau County Legislator Kevan Abrahams of the 1st District in Nassau. Let's talk about redistricting. Every 10 years, the state level, county level, there's a redistricting. Where is it now? Where does it stand now with Nassau's redistricting, and when's the deadline?
Well, right now where it stands, we had we had the commission come in, basically a redistricting commission, which has 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans, and basically have put together dual plans where we're at today. There's a Democrat plan and a Republican plan. And right now, the commission has already held its last session. They went through, I believe, 3 sessions where they invited the public to come down and participate and voice some of their concerns. And now they're basically at the point where they're going to present the maps to the legislature. Now, this is a part where it gets sticky because I'm not too familiar with the legalities, but we have to see what exactly is going to happen from that point on. Are both maps presented to the legislature? Is one map, 2 maps? So that's where it's going to get kind of sticky. The bottom line is that we need to do something by March 4th.
March 4th. That's
the date that we have to vote on some plan and have a plan, not just vote on it, but implement it. So, because there's a lot of work that goes into place. If we're going to be changing lines and reconfiguring districts, the Board of Elections has to get ready to be able to make the people aware of what districts they're going to be in for November.
Right.
So it's very crucial that we give them as much lead time as possible.
Does it look at this point like there may be a new legislative district created?
Or just I don't believe
boundaries
so.
Changing
Yeah, this
current?
boundary's changing. Right now the county has about 1.3 million people. The population would have to grow by at least 70 to 80,000 people just to to warrant a new district. So I don't think the population has shifted that much. I believe it's still at about 1.3, to be honest.
Right.
So I don't think it's went up that much.
Okay. Let's talk about some of your priorities for your district. If you had to name the top 3 priorities for the next 10 months, what would they be?
I believe the gang issue is definitely #1 on my radar. Working with our youth and giving them the support and encouragement that they need, the resources. So working with groups in the community, I think it's going to be crucial over the next 10 months, and that's something that I think that I'm going to use a lot of my time and resources to focus on. The second most issue is economic empowerment. Right now, I think working with our county executives is important that we get the Roosevelt corridor as well as parts of Unionville and Freeport and Hempstead up to par, and working with our village mayors and maybe trying to collectively put dollars together so that we can sometimes utilize resources that are collaborated together. And lastly, which is so important, is focusing on a lot of our daycare throughout our community has become an issue which has become very expensive, and I want to be able to ensure that daycare is there for those that need it. And I think it's important that we focus on that, as well as senior and health care and so on and so forth, and providing more programs for our seniors. There's so many issues that you could talk about, but I would definitely say that those are on the top of my agenda.
Yeah, Freeport is part of your district?
Yes, Freeport is part of my district.
Now they just redid the train station there, right? Beautiful.
Freeport? Yes,
I think
they might have. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
There's been some in the downtown revitalization. There've been some new stores that have moved into some of the areas. Is that going to help in sparking more business opportunities?
I think it will. All of that type of stuff helps. In terms of facades and changing the facades of buildings and so on and so forth. Yeah. And the same type of things we want to see in Roosevelt throughout on Nassau Road. I think it's key. In terms of getting the commercial base back in that area. And it could be viable because that is an area that had many businesses thriving throughout it, 20, 30 some odd years ago. So it's proven that it could definitely be a stable and thriving community. We just need to give them the resources that they need to be able to do that.
There was a story recently about a soup kitchen in Roosevelt called Harvest for the World that was being evicted. And I wondered if you could just update us on where that story stands now, because I know you got involved in trying to help them keep their spot.
Well, one of the issues with Harvest of the World, that since they were being evicted, there was a situation of the landlords changing and so on and so forth. We were trying to move them into another church down the block. However, that wasn't able to facilitate. So what we were able to do is work something out so they're still in the same current position as of today. So technically, it's kind of like a day-to-day type of thing. But were able to work out something where they're able to keep that certain position and not be locked out or be worried about eviction. But they could be, evicted at any day. So it's something that, if anybody, the listeners, if anybody knows of a space, the soup kitchen is in Roosevelt, and we would definitely like to work something out to get them a more permanent and stable space.
Right. I think I had read that they assist about 100 people a day.
Yeah, it's something needed. It's definitely something needed. A lot of people depend on it. It's hard, even if they move, and getting the word out and being able to convey to people that, look, we're going to be moving this to there, and you need to start coming here. And a lot of these people, they don't have transportation, so you know, you need to have something in the community that they're able to get to, whether it be by foot or maybe by a ride or something along those lines.
Right. So this is your first term as a Nassau legislator. You'll run again in November. Down the road?
Down the road, I mean, I definitely would like to run for higher office if the Nassau County Legislature doesn't kill me. But I mean, I would have to say the first couple of months have been very, you know, tough in terms of managing the budget and everything that's been going on with that. But I'm up for the challenge, and I think, you know, with our presiding officer Judy Jacobs and our county executive Tom Swazi, we have the right people in place to be able to address a lot of the issues in Nassau County because we have the best interests in mind. But in terms of higher office, I have a dream one day I would like to be like a U.S. Senator. I'd like to run for U.S. Senate one day. So that's something that I would like to consider, not anytime soon, way down the line. But I think if I was able to achieve that goal, that's somewhere that I would probably, you know, look to leave politics after that point in time.
Is there anybody in your family involved in politics?
No, actually there's no one. No one in my family. I'm the first political native, so there's not too many people that are actually willing to do it. My parents are very quiet people, so they're not really, I mean, they come out, they support me, but in terms of like being very political, they haven't been.
Yeah, so you're forging new ground in your family.
Yes, very much.
Well, our time is up, Kevan. Thank you so much for being with us today. Kevan Abrahams, Nassau legislator from the 1st District.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Thanks again. Appreciate it.
And thank you for watching Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. We'll see you again next time.
The dish was on the back.